Так, всем привет, с вами Хойми. Мы продолжаем прохождение игры Tangle Tower. А, серьезно? Боже, женщина, хоть что-нибудь. Ну, пожалуйста.
Did you ask Freya to paint this? Or was it her idea?
What is that you're holding in the painting, Flora? Some people have been saying it's a knife.
Может, все что угодно.
Flora, this is your egg? Why do you keep it locked?
Is there supposed to be something in there? Or is it always empty?
Все очень сложно, да, у нас сложные взаимоотношения. Мы с контент-триггер расследования все такое делаем. И вот.
What do you think of your husband's hobby?
Do you have any hobbies? You haven't seen this yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you?
Have you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
Ой, сорвалась тебе эта книга, мальчик, да?
I really thought she was gonna say something there.
На самом деле, да, я тоже надеюсь, что ты скажешь.
Is this your gramophone?
Do you know why it's cracked? Do you know anything about this beetle? Do you know anything about these birds? Or birds in general?
Нет, она ничего не знает. Окей, поняли. Тебя вообще бесполезно что-то спрашивать. Где мне использовать этот?
Every astronomy tower.
I wanna try.
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. Behind her is the back side of the easel. I can't really see anything behind it.
Вот эта
Is that a
штука.
window?
I think it
Is
is.
there another room?
Да, там есть
Above
комната.
Flora's room?
Странно.
We should check that next time we're over there. I can just about see the gramophone.
It's that little plant, Flora.
Don't you think it would fall off?
Maybe it's glued down.
It's the tower opposite this one. Isn't this supposed to be an astronomy? I'm pretty sure you need to see the
I
sky.
can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
There's something about point something.
Let's ask him about it.
Позже пока. Мы все вопросим обо всем.
Freya was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
Oh my, this is the first piece that Primrose ever learnt on the piano. Primrose, that is Poppy's mother. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to play.
Poppy's piano teacher was her mother?
Of course. Warms my heart to know that after everything, Poppy still has it up on her wall. What kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist.
Oh.
Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
These were drawn by Freya. She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
I've seen those earmuffs before. They're the ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears?
Whenever I've seen him, yes.
Понятно.
Where on earth did you find that?
It was in a bush outside. I think someone threw it away.
How peculiar. A very old statue indeed. I'd recommend you leave it well alone. The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is.
Что-то знает, срань старая. больше мы ничего не можем спросить, да?
Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
Looks like a weapon to me. My Poppy.
Мы, кажется,
My
так можем. Я не
precious,
знала!
exceptionally talented pianist from a young age. She... Hold on. Why is she on your list of suspects?
Because she's a suspect.
Oh no, I can personally vouch for her innocence. She never... Well, the truth is, she loved
Как мы
Freya
знаем.
very dearly.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to Poppy's mother?
Primrose? She was Flora's sister, a Remington by birth. The playing field has never really been even
Она
since she left.
уехала, не умерла. Фу.
Where did she go?
Away. She went away.
Или... Нет, я...
A listless soul drifting through the ether.
What's wrong with her?
Not sure. She's always been troubled. Comes from a
Мне
dysfunctional
просто интересно,
family.
что же, блин, там
I'd say you
высматривают.
could ask her about it, but I think you might find that to be a bit of a dead end.
Не знаю.
He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently has agency over a small fortune. That is, if he hasn't already squandered it or lost it.
You two don't get on?
Oh no, we're the best of friends.
Ладно, оставим пока тебе, мужик. Пойдем в Путаной. Не знаю. Давай сейчас тоже зайдем. Поньк. Мужик. Поньк.
The statue was up in the rooftop garden.
Yes, it's been there a while. You can see the brass is slightly tarnished by the elements, but it's not too bad. Might be salvageable. Now this is still in very good condition, apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning. Rather ugly, isn't it, as far as statues go? Years of wind and rain have not been kind to it either.
Ну да.
Do you know what it is? The creature, I mean.
It's connected to the Remington family history in some way, but I can't recall. I'm as confused as you are. It would have been a beautiful painting, as rather a shame Freya was unable to finish it.
Nothing about it seems strange to you.
Well, all these modern paintings are slightly strange, aren't they? The emotion of the piece taking over from, say, anatomical accuracy.
What about the knife in Flora's hand?
A knife? That's what you see?
You don't?
Well, as I was saying, Freya's artistic approach distorts certain shapes. Hard to say
И тут
exactly what we're looking
наперла.
at.
А не птица ли, нет? Вот это бело-красное.
Found it. What do you think, huh? I had to rush the final touches a little bit. It turned out all right, though.
What's it supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course, surrounded by all her favorite people. I've been carving for a couple of years now. I was hopeless when I started, but it didn't take me long to master it, as you can see.
Ну, к нему пока вообще не прикопался, он какой-то левый мужик
Do you
в этой
paint them
истории
yourself
пока.
too?
I do indeed. Freya kindly taught me the basics. Nowadays, I can make just about anything I can imagine. Of course, this particular model is a self-portrait based on hard fact.
Hard fact, huh? So, you own a sword, Felix?
Of course, I own a great many. But my weapons are stored well away from Tangle Tower.
Такой,
Safety first and all that. Looks like Freya's paints.
Do you know why the pots are cracked down one side?
No, that's very odd. They're normally in excellent condition.
You seem pretty sure about that.
Ну она же учила его рисовать.
Freya was quite the talent. She had a way of capturing the spirits of her subjects. Not in an evil way, in a good way. That's one of Freya's paintings, is it not? It's impressive, but a little miserable for my tastes. Where did you find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd.
Мне пока не
Does
ясно.
Florin normally keep something in here?
She must do, but I admit I've never managed to work out what.
Why not just ask her?
I feel like if somebody keeps something locked away in a ceramic
Это
egg,
глупо.
it's because they don't want to be asked about
Вообще
it.
да.
Rules to live by.
It's unlike her to leave paint on the brush.
I think we'll give her a pass, given the circumstances.
Ah, yes, so we shall. Percival Pointer. Good old... So, what do you reckon? See the
Какие какие-то
murderer?
терки семейные?
I don't know, maybe. We still need...
That is not information we're willing to share at this time.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Holds on to a lot of bitterness, does old Pointer. Just because he's always struggled to support his family. Slightly pathetic, really.
And how long have you known him?
Over 35 years.
А,
Childhood friends? Rivals?
Don't know if I'd do him the honor of considering him my rival.
понятно.
Poppy's a good friend to my daughter. Always has been. I think they get on well because they're so... different.
Different, like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
Quite the character,
Yeah.
A fellow member
Веселая
of the
домойка.
Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Is that a real thing?
No, I just meant because we both
Он
wear,
пошутил так,
you know,
родной.
red capes of a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
If you call that questioning, she seemed bored by everything I had to say.
Ну ты такой, да.
I heard on the grapevine. Supposedly Hawkshaw is searching for some rare item. Something called the Golden
О,
Beacon.
понятно.
Honestly, it's probably a bunch of sensationalist rubbish.
You reckon?
Quite
Вот
sure.
что могло
There
храниться
is
в
no
золотом
treasure called
яйце.
the
Жук!
Golden
А
Beacon.
чё нет, он же
How do you know?
золотой.
Because I would have heard of it.
Слушайте, я сраный гений, кажется.
My daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables.
Oh,
She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Ну,
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
а,
Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Oh, yes. Been married over 20 years now.
фига себе.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
She hasn't gone quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of three. Always something of a lone wolf, you know? Just the way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk
Ну
to
она же родила
anyone.
как-то ему дочку,
She
ну.
just likes
That's
time to
so-
herself, away from the company of other humans.
Other humans?
Other, well, yes, other people, you know.
Это странно, ну ладно.
Uncommonly skilled as an artist. But Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped me get started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too.
Ну, вдохновляет.
Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially recently.
Что произошло-то?
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father,
Как
Lord
сложно
Love,
это.
was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You
Да, мы
should take a look
смотрели.
at it.
What about her inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was around
А,
3 years
бедняжечка.
old. She came to live here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over anything at Tangle Tower.
Пока
There's something about Felix something.
Let's ask him about it.
Дай
There's something about something.
Let's ask her about it.
попозже. Давай попробуем. Я не представляю, что он может скрывать. У меня пока догадок нет, но давайте попробуем.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it
It's a blood,
to
чувак.
paint,
It's a blood.
obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint
Ну, это,
pots.
это
End
херня
of
вообще. Это не
discussion.
доказательство.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint.
Краски.
Something to prove who it
Freya.
actually belongs to. Let's take a closer look at this.
Я не представляю, как мы будем это делать. Банка с красной краской.
Freya's red paint
Почти,
pot
твою
is the
мать!
same as Felix's red paint
Он не
pot,
чпыкнул.
but the lids were swapped to hide it. Almost. Maybe just change one. Freya's red paint
Oh.
pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
А,
This red paint
Вау!
was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something. Right.
Когда не понял, но не палишься, да?
Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know, perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint. I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood in it. If that's
Да,
what you're
ему
asking.
нафиг не надо, он простенький,
in such
типа,
a
я
hurry
думаю,
to get a
он
hold
вряд
of red
ли
paint
претендует этот.
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final
Ну, птичку нарисовал.
details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If you managed to finish it,
Птица, видимо,
why
такая.
haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit
Ну,
insensitive.
да, это Покайля было бы. Окей. Отлично. У нас теперь есть 3 человека. Сейчас мы с 4-го с 5-м доделаем. У нас есть Поппи. Остались вы двое. Кис.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized. I don't know what that is.
Женщина, ну у тебя же даже точечки те же.
Considering we found it hidden in your room?
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me.
Давай. Волобешник.
Softly does the flower grow.
О май.
All in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush its gentle birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart to nature's way.
Это было прекрасно. Господи.
Hard of head, but free of mind, unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond, behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied, it's hers, it's free. Was then, is now, will ever be. With surging tide, the waves are thrown, an entity of all its own. But on its surface you may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will. Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to depart. Lost her liberation lays, in the center of a maze. Eavesdrop what the stars are saying, earthly tether slowly fraying, floating helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet the flowers growing at your feet. Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the mouth they dwell. The spoken word, unfit for dealing with the shifting form of feeling, stand unblinking in the face of taciturn and soundless space. Foregone drifter, holding fast, days as shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender, accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom some four walls make round a room? Feathers flashing in the light, from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, but all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage.
Сама,
That's
родная.
me. I'm on a list of murder suspects.
Ну, а ты хотела.
Always thought that would be kind of cool, but it's just tedious.
Falls a little short, doesn't it?
Окей, давайте
I
поговорим.
need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music.
Мгм.
Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this?
Ну,
Cassette
это
tapes
важно.
have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's
Что ж
not
так
mine.
грохнуло, что оно все
I'd
поломалось?
never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
Угу, конечно.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves. Let's take a closer look at this.
Так.
The pink cassette
Вау.
tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
Как? А, в смысле, вот этого.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up? And then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward. Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Да.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
Окей, тебя мы тоже узнали. Это странно, но окей. Признала, что раньше Розыка сопротивляла ей, записанную свою игру пианино дала Фрей. Похоже, встречу на кассе появился совсем недавно. Фрей нравилось слушать музыку. Папа раньше был ярко-розовый, но теперь не любит. Сейчас давайте мы пойдем... Вау. Туда. Этих двоих мы еще успеем. Потому что надо узнать, что там за вот это вот странное место. Чердак. Вау. Тут стрёмно.
What is that?
Not sure.
Looks like it might attach to something.
Это катушка, медная катушка с винтом. Сверху на катушке намотана тонкая красная проволока.
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it. Just dusty junk.
Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry, is this spooky?
Kinda. It's a jar.
Huh. Sally, you don't have a dust.
No. Do you?
Просто не знаю, что на антике на этом искать. Типа, как бы, ну и хорошо.
Let me put it this way.
Someone
Do
painted
you
up.
think it was done
No idea. Either way, it's pretty suspicious.
just dusty junk? It's a statue of a standing up straight.
You know, there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed.
Just dusty junk. Just dusty junk.
Так, окей, я ничего не поняла. Давайте, окей, хорошо, по мере продвижения. А то я пока запуталась. Больше, чем могла вообще. Миледи, сорян, но...
So, this painting, specifically that knife in Flora's hand.
Yeah, it's creepy. But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So, what's going on?
It's not a knife. We need a clue to compare with the painting. something to explain what that knife shape actually is.
Перо.
That kinda makes sense, but...
Я подумаю сейчас. Ну, это похоже на перо. То есть мы видели черно-бело-красную птицу, пардон. И типа... А если просто книгу с птицами использовать?
Let's take a closer look at this.
Да, точно. Вот, перо.
The painted knife is actually just
Да,
a
видимо,
feather.
да.
from
Птица
an
же есть же, у нее статуэточка птички такой.
It's
Ну ты же говоришь
definitely
когда-нибудь, нет,
French,
женщина.
but
Ну
the
хоть
book's not in
ого-го.
color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically.
Ну потому
Is there
что она
anything to suggest that the inked
старая.
bird is red and white too?
Ну попробуем. Может быть. Нет?
This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for
Значит, так
Flora.
надо?
And come to think of it, why would Flora be holding a feather in the painting anyway?
Давай попробуем так что-нибудь. Поэтому она сохранила одно перо, чтобы не забыть его.
The ink-dipped bird was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather to remember it by.
She kept the bird as a pet. And it died?
Может, улетела.
Maybe.
Но вообще скажешь, что
Maybe it
умерла,
flew
потому что
away.
была последняя птица.
Flora spends all her
Penny.
time staring out the window.
Either
Ищет
way,
птичку
she
свою,
kept the
видать.
feather.
Странно.
I think it was pretty important to her.
All right. So she was holding the feather while Freya was painting her. But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does. Normally. This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
Яйце. Вот для чего было яйцо.
But we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm.
В этом беда.
Completely empty. Flora?
Неужели?
She's pointing at something in
It's
the...
just a pile of books. Wait, there's something tucked inside this one.
Перышко. Рисунок Флоры. Рисунки, на котором нарисована Флора с небольшой птичкой. На обратной стороне сделан от руки. Это тебе. С любовью, Фрея. Это было странно, но окей. Ну, пошли сюда. Я не знаю, что просто ему предъявлять. То, что он скряга, жлоб, вообще непонятно кто. Как бы, мне пока не ясно в плане, кто мог его убить. То, что этот Питер под ним посматривает, это понятно. Что он какой-то вообще мутный мужик. Ой, давай с Богом попробуем.
What's this? Is it a
Капелька.
clue?
We don't actually know. But Grimoire picked it up, so now he has to pretend it is.
That's how it works.
Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of Flora's? It's been a while since I've seen it.
Улетела или умерла?
Curious creature, isn't it? Some sort of amphibious bipedal fishman.
Playing a trumpet.
Playing a trumpet, yes.
Так, это все есть. Давайте спросим. Я не знаю, что его разоблачать, мне пока, типа, нет
So,
подозрений.
Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter
Он ищет
of
жука для
being
обогащения, хочет его
interested.
продать и получить
Once you
денег. Всеми
expand
копейками
your
меньше,
mind
да?
to the wider universe, it cannot
Да не
be
пизди.
unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by
Тебя
that?
смотрит
I think you're
телескоп на
interested
тебя.
in a slightly different field of research.
Ой, господи. Жук.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far
Да,
away.
верим, верим.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes,
Солнечную
naturally,
погоду, да.
my little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
Сейчас день, ты понимаешь? День! Нет, потому что они на небо.
Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of what?
Да.
Spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Не за
Why?
Флорой.
Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's,
Да, у нее же этот
it's a very
контейнер для
precious
жука.
specimen, incredibly rare, valuable in ways you could
У нее в
never
этом, наверное,
understand.
лежал.
Freya was
В
always
пекаре.
sneaking around.
Ой, блин,
Both
блин.
towers and
Короче,
in the
в
gardens too.
контейнере для жуков.
She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
Чего?
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we...
What the fuck?
This wasn't here before.
Да.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy.
There's a note stuck to
What
the
does it
back.
say? Grimoire?
Это мой новый друг, ему нравится музыка, его растрогать простые мелодии. Удачи вам, Фрея.
What do you think? Is it really from her?
Какого хрена? Она что,
How
жива?
can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well,
It's a perfect match.
well, it's confirmed.
Да,
We have a
неё.
ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to
Я думаю, она
ourselves.
жива.
What about the little wooden
Прячь себе.
toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
М? Неоконченное дело. Окей, новый акт. Так, сколько у них чек?
We know a little more about the crime scene.
Давайте исследовать. Чё?
So,
Блин,
what do you
прикольно.
think?
Но я думаю, она
Was
жива,
Freya
она просто
stabbed
что-то
by
под
her
это
own
подколола, чтобы что-то сделать. Фрея заколола её же картина? Нет. Так, должно быть похоже на настоящий нос.
The
Внимание.
painted ink
Не
dipped
то.
feather was designed
Близко,
to
но не
match
то.
a real knife to prove the existence of magic. Nope.
Так, откуда взялась кровь? Как она была использована?
Blood from the paint
Нет.
pot was designed to match paint from the paint pot to hide the evidence. That's not right.
Может быть, типа кровь из банки.
Blood from the paint pot
Нет?
was used to paint over the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife. Almost. Maybe just change one thing. Blood from the paint
Yeah.
pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
Нахрена?
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody
Да,
set it
я
up.
думаю, больше подстроен.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather.
Как
after
кровь не
the
свернулся,
crime.
объясни мне кто-нибудь.
Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time.
Мгм.
It stayed locked until Fitz
Да.
kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope,
Ну, ее
but
не
he
видно.
did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Наверное.
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
С
Hold
чердака кто-то
If
пришел,
there was
наверное.
no knife,
Затаился,
then
такой
what
херак
did
убежал.
stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what and
Ну
more
да,
interested
интересно скорее, как
in
в чем
the how.
Ну, правильно говорит.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly
Метнули.
in front of her. But she was standing right up by the
Вот
canvas.
да.
Somehow,
Я все думала, что она
Freya
сама
ended
себя
up lying
пырнула,
on her
взяла
back,
кровь,
still
покрасила, убежала.
perfectly in line with the
С
painting.
другой стороны.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Вот
Okay,
да,
well,
дырка бы.
how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
Ага, хорошая идея. Я говорю, она крови набрала в банку. Только зачем ранить себя в пузо, непонятно. У нас еще есть из дверных замков. Дверной звонок. А что там еще у Арфа-то есть? Пианино, еще что-то. Пианино.
I'm still not sure.
Should we take another look?
Давай, пианино и... и губы.
Let's come back later.
Окей, еще музыка. Давай от тебя, пианино тебя послушаем снова.
It's one of those big
Don't touch it.
why not?
Might be haunted.
Извините.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Угу. Наверное, мы записали, да? Да, да, скажи, что мы записали.
Where did you find this?
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic. How sweet.
Да, мы получили еще одну штуку. И, наверное, последнее, что мы можем пока что получить. Пошли, кстати, да, мне не нравится, что мы еще двоих не опросили, ну, типа, как
A little
положено.
actually, I have no idea what it's about.
Нахрена мне эта штука, я сама не знаю.
Kind of reminds me of a periodic table.
What do you make of
Not
it?
a whole lot.
Как же ты меня заколебал, мужик.
Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting. Did Freya draw these?
Yeah. There's a note on the back, too.
She was even closer to Flora than I realized. Paints are different
Давайте
to
все
flowers.
спрашивайте. Просто как-то
I'd
вывести
say
его на
so,
разговор.
yeah.
Я пока не
At any
понимаю.
time, flowers can bloom with perfect, faultless colors. Red, blue, white. With paint, once you've tainted a color by mixing it with others, not even the most skilled painter can return it to its pure form. How odd. I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Me 3. Oh, sorry. I thought you said me too.
Poppy and I are friends.
Oh,
Да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да-да.
blonde clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Это так называется,
Is
да?
something wrong?
Не, ничего.
Penelope is my fiancé.
А,
I don't take
серьезно?
this the wrong way, but Penny
Блин.
doesn't really
Я...
strike
Мне
me as your
такая...
type.
Как это...
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship
В
doing?
смысле, я-то думала о
Recently.
нем... Оно...
Good.
Херово.
It's good.
Херово, скажи. Так и скажи.
She
Херово.
was always kind to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working. Sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to
Растения.
learn about
Да. В
flowers.
растениях?
Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Вот
Insects.
с этим сраным
One of
жуком
my
что-то не
jobs is to
так.
protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs
А,
inside.
да, да, да,
She'd
да, да.
say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always
Она тоже
kind.
искала этого золотого жука. На что-то надеялась.
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know.
Про жука мы сказали. Почему у тебя-то ничего не этовается?
That's a handsome beetle. Looks like he might have met.
What is that?
I'm not
Катушка.
sure. It looks like it attaches to something else.
Why don't you go back and double check the area you found it? Maybe you'll find the rest of the something else.
I'm not so sure about that.
Some breed of amphibious humanoid. Potentially bipedal. Although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
Да.
Does Flora still own that bird?
Нет,
Do
к
you know?
сожалению, нет.
Don't think so. The drawings are from a few years ago.
I see. These people really are ridiculous, aren't they? 3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would. Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it.
I have several theories. But they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them.
Да-да-да-да-да.
Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No.
No.
Чё ещё
One
спросить?
of
Давай
3
это.
statues depicting the same creature. This one is wearing headphones. Perhaps they belong to someone who likes music.
They're not headphones. They're earmuffs. For blocking out sound.
Perhaps they belong to someone who doesn't like music.
Да ладно.
Where'd you dig that up?
It wasn't buried. It was underwater.
Someone trying to conceal evidence, perhaps?
Maybe. С ней тоже пока ничего не прогорело. Так, хорошо, что у нас из идей? Из идей у нас есть граммофон и хумующий, ну и балаболкающий. Это просто я не понимаю, как мне, блин, до этого чувака докопаться, чтобы он мне все это. Ладно, не важно, будем сейчас сюда.
Weird.
It's someone humming a tune.
У нас есть все мелодии, отлично.
That's all 4 melodies.
So, what do we do?
Should we go back to the garden?
Погнали. Мне интересно. Что за черт это будет?
Let's try this.
You know, I think we might be able to solve this now.
Угу.
That's gotta be right.
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
Воу-воу-воу-воу-воу. Воу-воу. Погоди. Я боюсь, а вдруг мы там ее найдем? Иди сюда, мы сегодня о всех поговорим.
Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
Ой, прелесть.
I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone. She questioned me.
About what?
My work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me,
Знает.
I can tell.
Когда человек много работает в том же месте, он просто знает, типа, что что-то тронули, что-то нет.
I imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds, too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
Ну, а себе самому?
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Да, это шутит
that's-
она.
It was a joke. I
Шутейка
was
это была.
joking.
Oh, I see.
Это была шутейка, не очень удачная.
Who gave you that information?
Well...
We don't actually know who it was. We were contacted anonymously.
I see.
Я думаю, реально
And what happens if
Фрей
the
просто
person
все
who
так и
contacted
подстроила,
you
чтобы
turns
что-то
out to be
узнать,
the
жука
murderer?
найти еще.
I never thought about that.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like a twist, you know?
Ну, блин, это твист, который
Nice
он готовит.
painting. Gives you a pretty good idea of the layout.
The lake looks like it forms a perfect circle around the island.
It
Ну,
might
так
seem
и есть.
strange to you, but nature is quite capable of producing perfectly geometric
Вообще, да,
forms.
легко.
And those mountain cliff things around the outside?
We don't know much about them. They're unscalable. Not even Freya could have gone up there.
What's that?
This painting, it's speculative. There are no photographs from this angle as far as I know.
So Freya just made it up.
Let's call it an informed estimation.
Понятно.
What do you think that is in Flora's hand?
I don't know. It
Мы же
does
знаем,
look like a knife.
господи.
But Flora wasn't holding anything at all when I saw her after the murder. But there's something bothering me. Something else.
What?
When we went into Flora's room, she wasn't standing in this position.
Well, she probably would have moved around a little bit by then.
She wasn't standing at all. She was kneeling on the floor.
Он перо, наверное, пустил, вот и
There's
расстроился.
something off about this.
What is it?
Why don't you take another look at Flora's room?
You think we missed a clue up there?
Not exactly.
Окей.
It's an egg with feet.
It was locked, but we opened it, but it was empty.
Fun story.
You ever seen this before, Fitz?
No, but I don't normally go into Fifi's room.
That's not where we found it.
Oh, I just thought it looks like it belongs to her.
Да твою мать, не колется, придурка. Грррррр. Как ты почему-то не колешься? Не колешься ты почему?
Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She
Что он не
could be
колется, а?
famous, wealthy even,
Если
if
начнешь
she wanted
справляться, его
to.
в духу ему, наверное,
She'd
сама.
probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite. I'll say this. He's well suited to physical labor.
That's a
Да
nice way to
ладно.
put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse. But I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers. In secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's
Oh,
hiding
Боже.
something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely
Молчать,
sleeps.
ага.
An hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at the sky.
Ждет своего друга.
Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. I find her rather embarrassing. Little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just
Ого.
makes it worse. Professor Pointer is a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself. What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
Freya Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
Нет, она
I have
просто
only
пост, к
myself to
сожалению.
blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, Detective. 314 cases solved.
300?
And 14.
М14. Полный фортин.
You truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong
Ну
with it?
что-то.
No organization, no system.
That's my style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint.
Да почему ж вы, суки, не колитесь, а? Как мне тебя расколоть? Что мне еще нужно найти на тебя?
Are we
Okay,
gonna go in?
пошли.
Yeah, but there's a couple of things I want to do.
It's a bandstand. It's a one-man bandstand.
Мы не можем выбесить этих двоих. У меня чего-то не хватает. Я не могу понять, чего. Это твой стол позы.
A wooden trunk.
I want one.
We already solved it.
Да, это мы их видели.
This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
And, what is it?
Лупа типа
It's my handheld
телескоп.
microscope for up-close investigation work.
What do you magnify
Сейчас
with
мы
it?
к этой, к...
Trace particles,
Все-таки сходим
dust,
к деланке.
oils, clothing fibers.
Have you used it here at Tangle Tower?
I have. I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
What were you looking for?
That is between myself and
Жука
my
она искала,
client.
вот кого она искала.
You consider that important evidence, do you? Do you also have a pile of leaves as a clue?
Oh, not yet. Did you see some suspicious leaves?
Люблю этих
People
дебилов.
here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone.
Они красивые, в чем
For what
проблема-то?
possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the
Не, ну
earth?
это понятно, но тут же другой вопрос.
You truly consider
What's
this?
wrong with...
I believe that was in Flora's room yesterday, but it was not cracked when I saw it last.
Почему же, блядь,
A
он
somewhat
треснул, а?
cumbersome device, and an
Он
altogether
грохнулся или на
inefficient
него
way to
что-то
listen to
упало?
music.
На что?
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
I'd tell him not to quit his day job, but he hasn't got one.
И
has
надо
he?
что-то придумать еще.
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange. Is that a clue?
Don't know. It was important enough to be framed, though.
I framed my law degree, doesn't make it a clue.
Same? Yeah?
The paint is still wet.
Same.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told?
Ну, типа,
These
да?
figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
Вообще-то.
Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of
Знаешь,
turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
I believe so. Why?
Ничего.
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
Huh. I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that.
Ну не
I was
скажи.
disappointed too.
Не скажи, не скажи. Все не раскрылось, да?
There's
А, открылось, ну-ка.
Let's ask her
Ей.
about it.
Давай, наверное,
It's a big
подозрительная
stone.
женщина, я подозреваю тебя. Шахмат, аметист, давай.
This little
Я знаю,
microscope
зачем ты
thing?
приперлась.
You said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And
Мне
this
надо
would
как-то
make
чувака
perfect sense.
разговорить. Я не
If you knew
понимаю,
what my
как. Я
client had
все
asked me
улики
to
собрала,
find.
он ничего не
Of
реагирует,
course,
собака.
I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry. We already worked out what you're searching for.
Жука.
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even
Прикиньте,
you
он
can
реально у
understand the logic
Фрейли
of
в
it. The
контейнере
greenhouse
сидит.
is home to a great many insects.
Это
The
будет
gardener
странно, но
could have
why not?
easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon,
Нет, он
Grimoire?
заметил.
I know for a fact you didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse. It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on
Ну что-то похоже на
microscopes.
лупу.
The handheld microscope,
Почти, блядь.
according to Hawkshaw, uses
So
a
fucking
telescopic lens.
close.
So Hawkshaw lied about it. Almost. Maybe just changed
Да, это
one.
хрень.
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi,
Yo.
uses a telescopic lens. So Hawkshaw lied about it. I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff
Yeah.
like this.
Aksha, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
При чем тут это вообще сейчас?
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
I
Ну,
wanted
это
to be an
да.
astronomer.
Really?
I harbored a
А.
desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe.
Ну, потом
A
пошла
fool's errand,
юридически,
to be
да?
sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Понятно.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal with the little telescope?
A memento from my childhood.
Да, это
Little
просто
more than a toy.
воспоминание.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead
Никого.
suspect is your murder victim.
Да, я говорю, она сама подтасовала собственную смерть. Пудов. Чувак, ты мне сдашься? Чё ты, бля, хочешь
A
делать?
little chart of... Actually, I have no idea what it's about. Kinda reminds me of a periodic table. Kinda reminds me of a periodic...
Greek letters?
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table. Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot.
Нахрена?
Tools used by gardening. That's a hand. Hanging back. They're only
2 inches makes all.
Это вот
Felix made
почти
that.
все.
That's quite sweet, really.
Что тебе не хватает, придурочный? Что? Я все исследовала. Как тебя выбесить-то, а?
bit of a decadent flooring.
This one's
Okay, that is definitely...
looks like a gemstone, don't you think?
Да бля, ну.
Bags of soil.
It's so blue.
Bags of soil.
It's so blue. It's glad.
Total
I am not.
Так, пойдем еще раз сходим в комнату, посмотрим жук. Я не понимаю. Как мне его вывести на диалог? Мы типа все варианты к нему подкатили, а он выбешивается что-то.
It's a little
I
glass.
think it's a
Come
vivarium.
again.
See, the leaves might have been for keeping insects.
Freya's plants. They must. Freya's plants. They must.
Окей, хорошо.
A little.
It's the only plant in the entire...
Мы всех уже реально вывели, один он остался. Какого фига?
Tools used by gardening.
It's bigger in here than I. It's bigger in here than I. It's bigger in here than I.
Tools, used by gardening.
Is that fruit?
Too shiny to be fruit. I think it's glowing.
Safe to eat.
I'm gonna say no. All the flowers here.
Can
look
flowers be poison?
anything can be.
Good to know.
Как мне вывести чистую воду,
Is
солнышко?
that fruit? It's shaped like fruit.
Может, я...
Too shiny to be fruit. I think it's glowing.
Safe to eat.
I'm gonna say no.
Слушай, я, конечно, могу пытаться, но ни хера не даст.
That poor
Looks
healthy.
pretty.
I think it would rather be outside.
It's a little inside. It says, "Doesn't look soft." And still
Told
just a rock. That thing.
We already solved it. The door's unlocked.
Trees.
In a garden.
In a garden. Trees.
In a garden.
In a garden. A little pond.
See those?
Yeah.
Nothing. Looks like somebody broke them and then
Ah, a little. Wonder how it's hooked up.
it's so majestic. It's so majestic.
It's a room.
The ropes exactly.
Может, на все темы поговорили? Какого хрена?
It's
Total
I
accident.
am not.
A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to.
Хорошо. Сейчас что-нибудь придумаем. Миледи, сорян.
Is that...
Maybe?
We have no idea.
What's that?
Просто мне пока это не важно. Мне главное,
must
чтобы
say,
она
I think
they
как-то
belong to you.
отреагировала на это более...
I've already.
Which one?
Oh, that's
Glad we cleared.
What about the one on
my...
the...
It's just my... Doesn't have a name. A bit... if I'm...
That's a
I'm guessing
Would have
she's-
been mustache.
You recognize it?
Colors different. Poppy's grand. On account.
That's cute.
Oh yeah.
Я все равно добьюсь, что хотите
do a
делать.
business.
Они
Try
последний
it.
остался.
What?
Это факт
No.
Is
называю.
that fair?
Oh, did you make it?
yeah.
Lovely. Burn them. All be lies.
Why would Poppy
Because
lie?
that's what she looks like.
Don't you think it
She's... Isn't he strapping?
He is
And so,
kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell.
It just sounds like you don't know.
I don't. She'd
Freya
sometimes.
was-
No, Isabel.
got it.
For my
Don't
twin, you
know.
can't be.
Sounds like you.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration. But she had a way of understanding. She most
Okay.
well.
Oh.
No, I must. Dream. Wait, is that me? A fellow bird.
Are you friend? A little.
She's
I
one.
can see
I do
that.
admire Isabel. Right? She's amazing. She was
Which
incredible.
part?
If I look, I just
Professor.
Oh, did you? Can't say it. I'll just
What do you mean?
Подумать.
Okay, so
Don't look at...
Я что-то не подобрала. Как же мне это бесит, твою мать.
It's bigger in here. It's bigger in here.
That's a handsome...
It's
totally-
I am not.
Hanging back only
2 inches makes. It's bigger in here than. Is that
too shiny.
safe?
I'm gonna say no. All the flowers... Anything.
Good to know. This
Okay, that is-
looks like a gemstone, don't you think? It's bigger in here. It's bigger in here than I.
little chart of... Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
Всё.
What do you make of
Not
it?
a whole lot.
Nice painting. Gives you a
The
pretty-
lake
it
looks
might
like-
seem nature is.
And,
We don't know
not
much
even
about
that.
this. There are no.
So-
Let's.
Точно все.
Penelope's three very.
Are they-
Oh, they help
Do
you.
you-
I do not.
We found these up.
No, we don't.
Why not?
Nature.
Бесит. Может, ты сбаговала, а? Я не очень на это надеюсь. Но... Давай со всеми родственниками пока потрендим.
So, which one is Tangle Tower?
What's
There are two towers.
You'd
Did
have
you
to.
name
The
it
whole.
with Felix?
No, the relic.
Эти лошади важно.
Not
Совершенно.
exactly. That looks
I
like
like
something
better than
Ah, a diary,
How do you
I
know?
suppose. Fitz seems
What's
rather
wrong with
well.
it?
What up?
She has.
Who?
Oh, perhaps. I. That's right. But that. Well, now. Why? This
I
is
think so.
nice. This looks
At least you tried.
yes. Keep.
Oh, yeah?
The night. Poppy's too frank. Pointer per law. What do you want?
He's a-
Yeah, but not...
What happened?
His
to the
father.
What about his
Emily? Who? Goodness, I
no,
dare.
she doesn't seem
Still.
to-
You sound jealous. Wait, are
Oh
you?
no, literally. Nobody. She was his.
Those two things...
I don't. But I think that's wondering. Quite. I'm surprised. Hard
She's
to.
kind of-
You know. Then of
М,
course.
Собака
He
неприступная.
should learn to make.
You're talking
That is. If,
You two don't...
I don't.
Wait.
Why don't
I'm-
the 83?
Yeah, we don't.
Ah,
Penny's
at
your-
this.
She'll still
but
be-
she'll go like.
Why did Poppy leave
What
the
makes-
step? It is a flower. It
Да-да.
the fruit it makes unless you
It's
wish
not.
depends
On
on the.
what? Is this?
I do not. Besides, I would have no use. Perhaps.
Okay.
Yes. I require correction. There was no night
Apart
which
from the-
nobody. An item earlier.
Why's that?
No idea. She is never.
You two.
We are.
But
It is clear.
it-
Oh, the change. Name. Apparently, but she has name. Fitzfellow. Age. Likes soil.
hang
Dislike.
on. Crypto botanist?
That may well be his preferred label. Mine.
Do you and Fitz
We
not...
do not.
Well, I wouldn't.
So, what's your...
Exactly. He was making.
So,
He was also carrying. Name, likes, dislikes. Notes.
and
I have not.
no.
You ask. Do not get
What makes
he
him
has trouble.
Grimoire?
No, no. Name, deceased.
Может,
Understand
мы таки
most
пришли
things
к этому
evident.
дерьму.
А.
There it is. Freya. She is
Чтобы
very.
тикнуло,
useful.
типа.
I will say one.
Хотя в
You know,
мелодии
if you
тоже
are
знаки
Freya,
есть.
The three of
We
you
are one scientist.
sounds
Name, likes, notes. I have no. Name, likes, dislike, notes.
how
How
come?
come you?
How are you related?
Fitz is.
What?
I do not know.
And what about
We
Freya?
share.
There's something.
Ей,
Let's
наконец-то!
ask him about it.
Погнали, 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 нахрен погнали! Я хочу закончить в этой серии все это. Котенька, я пришла жопку твою надирать, да?
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower, holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi
У меня был
did
просто
see
у меня был
Fitz,
мастерок.
but he was
Стихи.
holding something else.
Совочек, хорошо.
If it wasn't a knife, what was it?
Ой, счастье какое. Наконец.
What about this?
Ah,
Он будет острый.
Is it yours?
it was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
Да, подумай. Ну, что-то типа для цветов.
An ornate trowel is
Да.
used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Penny's room.
That flower.
Yes.
I've never seen it before.
We need a
смысле?
clue to compare
Кого
that
ты
flower.
врешь?
Something that proves its
Трава,
connection
ой,
to Fitz.
земля-то у них одинакового цвета. Чё ты пиздишь?
Let's take a closer look at these.
Жмакайте.
The pot and soil in Penny's room matches
трава.
the
Земля-то
pot and
одинаковая.
soil found in Fitz's greenhouse.
Чувак, не
Let me
ответишься.
guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors
О,
to
так
be
все-таки у них
exactly right.
любовь.
That's some
Только
gift.
своеобразная.
Turns out Penny isn't particularly interested in
Она же,
looking
блин,
after plants.
чё, ты же знаешь, что она
So,
фанатеет от
go
птиц.
into her
Сделаешь
room
вроде
every now
птички?
and again. When she's not there, water the flower, change the soil, just trying to keep it alive.
Are we done?
For
We
now,
done.
it's about time we found out what's beneath the gum.
Погнали туда, надо выпустить дерьмо.
Where do you think it goes?
Down.
Погнали! Это будет серия огромная, но мне интересно, что за фигня. Она там ему сидит, тусит такая нормальная. Под землей. Нет, ни хрена, тут все сложнее оказалось. Ладно, окей. Это было странно. Окей, давайте пока на это тогда закончим. Все-таки я чувствую, что это за 5 секунд не решится, ни хрена. Ну, я, наверное, надеюсь. Подписывайтесь, ставьте комментарии. Я оставлю ссылочку на группу в описании. Давайте далее проходить Tangle Tower. Типа, я думаю, следующая серия будет последняя. В этом очень сильно задержались. Ну, все очень своеобразно. Но это посмотрим. Что-то реально раздолбало все здесь пополам. Вот посмотрите просто на эти трещины. Просто что это за срань. И всем пока.